So, brother, we've seen a lot of disease in Africa now. What is happening to Africa and the Africans? Why can't we live longer anymore?
The main thing is that not just Africa, but the world is eating foods that have a shelf life of 12 years. And if it's able to preserve a food for that long, imagine what it's doing to your body. See, we have to understand two things. Real food gives your body information. It feeds your DNA. It gives your genetics instructions. And then these fake foods that are newly invented gives your body inflammation, which brings a dis-ease to the mind and the body. Now you see obesity in high numbers, also in children. Diabetes in high numbers, also in children. High blood pressure in high numbers, also in children. Cancer, and there's been a war on cancer for decades, but cancer is still rising in numbers. We'll always see disease and sickness in high numbers when we step away from the natural things of God, because we are organic beings. We are handcrafted by God, meaning we must eat food handcrafted by God. But now we're running to man to be fed. Now we're eating foods with no nutritional value. So if it's not doing anything for your body, it's causing sickness, it's causing destruction, it's causing pain. To now you see depression, anxiety, and stress in high numbers. Because before we're eating natural foods that release things like serotonin. Because serotonin you can't eat it. You can't find a plant that releases serotonin, or fruit or vegetables that release serotonin. It's something that's created in the gut, but you must eat the right things with the right amino acids, the right plant enzymes that produces this hormone that allows you to deal with stress, depression, and anxiety. And majority, about 90% to 95% of our serotonin, which they consider a happy molecule, is created within the gut. So this is why we must learn to eat to live. And that's why Africans are seeing disease and sickness like they've never seen before, because they're eating foods that they've never seen before, brother.
Wow, that's powerful.
All praises.
And the fact that we rely on the West for medicine in Africa. We have traditional medicine in Africa. People trust it, but we still somehow forced to consume the Western medicine, the modern medicine. We don't know how was it created, who created it. It just has to come in a nice box and describe whatever on the description. What could be the solution for Africa when it comes to medicine, when we're already sick with the food we're eating?
We put too much trust into the West. And when it comes to Africa as a whole, your medicine comes from the West, your foods come from the West, your information comes from the West, your education comes from the West. It's like a giraffe sending its children to be taught by gorillas, or gorillas sending its children to be taught by lions. We have to understand genetically all people are different, regardless of what they teach in the Western world. They saying that no, all people are created equal. We might be, as a sense, us all being human and being able to respect each other as man, woman, and child. But genetically, we are different. All people of African descent is lactose intolerant. All people of African descent is lactose intolerant. And when we're weaned off the breast of our mother, our body no longer produces an enzyme to break down lactase. But the European, even after being weaned off the breast of their mother, still produce an enzyme that can break down lactase. So they're not lactose intolerant, but we are. And this just shows that genetically we're different. So if we're different when it comes to breast milk, what do you think about foods? What do you think about medications? Something that might not be harmful from an individual where their ancestors come from the West or come from Europe. They might be able to take this type of medication and be okay with it. But if a person of African descent takes this type of medication, it can be very destructive. Now it's rearranging their DNA. Now there's sickness coming out the womb. Now the sickness is coming from the womb because the mother and father chose to eat like this or take this medication. Now the children are being affected by these things that's not even born yet. So now I see this as a biochemical war. The foods and the medications. Now you're eating a food that's giving you poison. Now they're giving you a solution that's also poison. So it's poison versus poison, but we're organic beings. So where's God in the midst of this? Where's the natural foods in the midst of this? And when I mention God, how can you mention God without mentioning healing? How can you mention God without mentioning the proper foods, the natural foods, all things that's created by God? Even us, we're organic beings. We need organic things to survive. The food isn't the medicine. The food just brings us back. They even say that when we eat naturally, oh, he's on a diet. Why is eating natural food means I'm on a diet? Because they've polluted our minds and our bodies and told us we need this, that, and the third to survive.
That's powerful.
All praise is due to the Most High.
Misinformation is leading everybody now to not knowing where the truth is. But we should talk about solution right now, because this thing has gone for so long now. It's 2022, and you're coming to Africa. I'm sure you're not just coming.
Right.
You know, the message you've been sharing with the world, Africa was receiving it. Now was waiting to have you here. What should we expect as a solution?
The solution is self-love. We have to fall so deep in love with ourselves that nothing else matters. We have to fall deep in love with our culture. We have to fall deep in love with our hair texture. We have to fall deep in love with our traditions. Because when we do these things, now we want to eat to live. Because I can't tell a person to eat healthy when they don't even know how to properly love themselves. The solution is teaching people to respect their body, that their body is the temple of the Most High. Handcrafted, beautifully perfected by God. Now we want to run and eat the food of God. When somebody sits down with some cupcakes, we're like, oh, no. I can't eat the food of man. I must eat the food of God because I must feed the God within me. And feeding the God within me allows me to fall deeper in love. Now I'm more at peace because God is peace. I'm more at love because God is love. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to teach people how to fall in love with themselves. And by doing that, just teaching them to respect who and what they are and strive to be them and not to be anybody else. Because the Western world has everybody wanting to be of the West. So they eat of the West. They think of the West. They act of the ways of the West. But we have to just go back to the teachings of our ancestors, man. That's it.
Solution right there. The solution is inside us.
That's it.
Beautiful.
That's it. Self-love.
It's always nice to have you here.
All praises, brother.
Welcome to your land.
Thank you so much.
Inshallah.
All praises.